Hey there, movie fans. Welcome to the Blues of May 2019. We start off with the DVDs, and the first one is Rabid, Grannies. A couple of months ago, I was watching a documentary called Forgotten Scares, an in-depth look at Flemish horror cinema, and it made me want to watch and rewatch some of the films that were discussed. And Rabid Grannies is perhaps the most popular of all the Flemish horror films. It is a crazy and gory cult classic. And this contains two versions. The 1987 version, the original version, and you have the 2012 remastered, re-edited version, which is 30 minutes shorter. I've only seen the original, so I cannot say what the differences are. But yeah, crazy movie, Rabid Grannies. And I also picked up one of the latest horror movies from Flemish Belgium, Welp or Cup, which is the English title. I wanted to get the Blu-ray, but that was going for crazy money, so I got the DVD instead. Very well made, very brutal at times, with a nice twist at the end. Yeah, it was very enjoyable. That was pretty good. And the final Flemish horror film is Daughters of Darkness by Harry Kumel. Now this is an unconventional vampire movie. You know, the vampires, they don't have fangs, for example, and there's hardly any blood and nothing much is happening, but it's very atmospheric and very dreamlike, you know. And this Blu-ray also comes with a bonus film, as you can see there, The Blood Spattered Bride, which I haven't seen yet. But similar to Daughters of Darkness is Vampiros Lesbos. Now this have to be the definitive cult film by Jess Franco, or Jesus Franco, that was his real name. I've seen 2 or 3 Jess Franco films before, and they made me realize that he is not my kind of director. But I want to give him another chance after I read an article about him, and there was this quote in this article by Tim Lucas, the film historian, and he said that you haven't seen a Franco film until you've seen them all. And what he means by that is he made so many films, over 200 actually. You cannot compare one with the other. So, he made bad ones, but he also made good ones. And I made a short list of what is considered Franco's best films, and Vampiros Lesbos is one of them. It's basically a sort of retelling of the Dracula story, with the beautiful Soledad Miranda as the female Dracula. Oh, my camera is being stubborn again. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Yeah, you can see it right there. The beautiful and sexy, god damn you. Anyway, it's such a shame of what happened to her. She was killed in a car accident in Portugal in 1970, I believe. And she was only 27 years old, and she was probably on her way to Franco to sign a new movie deal. And it's very sad and tragic. And she was a rising star. Well, she was already a star, but she could have become probably the biggest star in European cinema, especially European genre cinema. But the scenes with her in it, they are incredibly sexy and seductive and sensual, I mean, the film is worth it for those scenes alone. If it wasn't for Soledad Miranda, this film would never have gotten the cult status it has today. But this is a wonderful release from Severin. Picture quality is gorgeous. It contains the German version, which is the one that Franco preferred. The Spanish version is cut, so avoid that one. And I also got another Franco film, but I haven't seen it yet, and that is She Killed in Ecstasy, again with the beautiful Senorita Miranda there. Also by Severin, this release. Yeah, he made this right after Vampiros Lesbos, by the way. Next is a movie that is in the same tradition as Daughters of Darkness and Vampiros Lesbos, and that is Vampires. I guess I was in the mood for lesbian vampires. But, of all of these three films, this I like the most. And it is part of this box set from Arrow Video. This is Blood Hunger, the films of Jose Larraz. Again, another fine release from our friends at Arrow Video. And the other movies that is part of this set is Whirlpool and The Coming of Sin, which looks very weird. And of course you got the booklet as well, which I believe contains some nudity. Oh, there's some nudity. Oh, can I have that? Oh, that was nudity right there. Next is a stack of arrows that I got from their Easter sale, beginning with 3 Arrow Academy titles, and the first one is Born Yesterday. Now this is such a wonderful film with a truly fantastic performance by Julie Holliday. I believe she won an Oscar for this. Yeah, Oscar-winning performance, there it is. Yeah, such a lovely film. And next are 2 film noirs by Joseph Hayes-Lewis, who also directed Gun Crazy and The Big Combo. So Dark Tonight and My Name is Julia Ross. So Dark Tonight is about a love triangle, and then a murder happens, and then another, and then another. And then the movie takes an interesting turn, which I will definitely not spoil for you. But this is a little overlooked gem, and so is this one. My Name is Julia Ross. It's about a woman who is hired as a secretary to this rich family, but she soon finds out that they have other plans for her. Okay, now we're going to the Arrow Video titles. Kill Baby Kill, a Mario Bava classic, very eerie and atmospheric. Great film. Really great film. And the next one is also by Maestro Bava, and that is Kidnapped / Rabid Dogs. Well, actually there's 2 versions. One version, the original one, is called Rabid Dogs, and the other one is called Kidnapped, the re-edited, redubbed, rescored version, supervised by Bava's son Lamberto Bava. But this is brilliant. This is absolutely a brilliant film with a phenomenal ending that you will not see coming. If somebody said to you that he saw this ending coming, then he's lying. Nobody can see this ending coming. Absolutely nobody. Next is Dark Blue, a very good crime drama with an excellent Kurt Russell as a dirty cop. The Baby. Now, I absolutely did not want to watch this film. I mean, a film about a grown-up man acting like a baby. Who in his right mind wants to see that shit? But then I read a review, and that really piqued my curiosity. So, I picked it up from the sale, and I watched it a couple of weeks ago. And this is such a bizarre film, but I do like it. You know, I enjoyed it in a strange way. But it has a very nice surprise at the end, and it was directed by Ted Post, and he is also the director of Magnum Force. And it's really hard to believe that the man who directed The Baby also directed a Dirty Harry movie. You know, he worked with Clint Eastwood before on Hang 'em High and Rawhide, but yeah, it's weirdly enjoyable, The Baby. Okay, the rest are all movies I haven't checked out yet. Tower of London with Vincent Price, directed by Roger Corman and produced by his brother Gene Corman. Now this is a very interesting one. This is the horrors of malformed men. I'm sure this is going to be one insane movie, this one. For the Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion by Luciano Ercoli. He also did the Dead Walks films, you know, the Dead Walks Twice and Dead Walks on High Heels. And here's another giallo. Is it a giallo? I believe it is. Dead Smiles on a Murderer by Joe D'Amato with Klaus Kinski. Was he in this? Well, I don't know. I thought Kinski was in this. Oh yeah, here it is. Of course he is. Oh, here it is. Here's his name. Klaus Kinski. Yeah, I can't wait to check this one out. JD's Revenge. Now this is sort of a horror blaxploitation film. And the last one that I got from the sale is Street Mobster by Kenji Fukasaku, starring Bunta Sukawara, a great Japanese actor. Yeah, I love these Japanese 1960s, 1970s crime films, especially from Fukasaku. Really nice artwork, by the way. Really love that. And here's a more recent Arrow release, The Grand Duel, or Il Grande Duello. The Italian title sounds much better than the English one, if you ask me. But this is the directorial debut of Giancarlo Santi, and he was Sergio Leone's assistant director on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and Once Upon a Time in the West. And he was supposed to direct A Fistful of Dollars. No, excuse me, no. A Fistful of Dynamite, sorry. A Fistful of Dynamite, that's the one I'm talking about. Also known as Duck You Sucker. But Rod Steiger, one of the lead actors, wanted Leone to direct it, or else he wouldn't do the movie. So Leone had no other choice but to direct the film himself, and Santi had to wait a year before he could finally make his own movie. And I think this is a very good debut of Santi's, and you can clearly tell that he learned a lot from his mentor. I mean, it's full of Leone-esque scenes. Next is Drive. Now, I already have 2 other Blu-ray editions of this movie, but the reason I got this one is because it includes the alternative Radio 1 soundtrack. Now, I prefer the original soundtrack. You know, that's one of the reasons why the film is so good. But this new soundtrack is excellent. It was curated by Zane Lowe, and you can see some of the names of the artists who worked on this new soundtrack. And they made it with the blessings of director Nicholas Winding Refn. And I saw this version a couple of years ago on TV, and they also showed the documentary, The Making of the Rescore. And I thought this was going to be a one-time thing, they just show it on TV and that's it. But to my surprise, they put it out on Blu-ray, and I never thought they would release it on any form of physical media whatsoever. But I'm glad they did. So if you want to see Drive with an entirely different soundtrack, this is the one to get. Okay, next is a very entertaining documentary, King Cohen, about Larry Cohen, who unfortunately is not with us anymore. He died earlier this year. But I managed to get this Blu-ray for a very good price finally. I think I got it from Amazon. I think it was one of those one day only kind of a deal. It's also comes with the CD soundtrack there. But yeah, very entertaining. Of this legendary, independent filmmaker, Larry Cohen. Picked up Vanishing Point, which is one of the best car chase road movies of the 1970s. Highly, highly entertaining. There's also a remake that was made for television in the 1990s, I believe, with Viggo Mortensen. That one wasn't so bad either, but this one is a classic. It absolutely is. I got The Night Stalker. I received the second movie, The Night Strangler, thanks to Brian and Reddy. We did a trade not so long ago, and I picked the first movie up by the legendary Dan Curtis. He produced this one. He directed the second movie though, and I also picked up his version of Dracula, starring Jack Palance. And I cannot wait to check this out. To see what his take is on the legendary story. And I got two movies with Sean Penn. Without a doubt, two of his best movies, State of Grace and Colors. State of Grace is such a terrific film with an incredible shootout at the end. Great actors, Sean Penn, Gary Oldman, Ed Harris. Yeah, outstanding film. And Colors is also really good. This is the media book that I got from Germany. The other one is also from Germany, by the way. This one was directed by Dennis Hopper. Robert Duvall right there. Excellent film. Yep, really nice. Okay, next is Dragged Across Concrete. What a brilliant title is that. It kind of reminds me of what Orson Welles once said about Paper Moon. Peter Bogdanovich asked him, what do you think of the title Paper Moon? And Welles replied, that title is so good. Don't make the movie, just release the title. Well, this title is so good, it doesn't need the movie. But anyway, this is the latest by S. Greg Zeller. The man who also did Bone Tomahawk and Brawl in Cell Block 99. And if you're a regular viewer of my videos, you know that I'm a big fan of this man. I think his films are a relief. I really do, especially if you compare them to what you have nowadays. But it's a damn good film. Fantastic performances throughout. Mel Gibson is terrific. I think this is his best performance in years. Vince Vaughn is very good. Also Tory Kittles, this guy over here, he's very good as well. And Don Johnson, right there. He only has a very brief appearance, but I would love to see a Zeller film with Don Johnson in the lead. He's a very underrated actor. But this is a very long film. It's 158 minutes, and quite a slow burner as well. But that didn't bother me at all. Now I'm looking forward to what else Zeller has up his sleeves, and I know that one of his old screenplays is going to be produced, a western, and I forgot what the title is of that western. Well, I'll pull it here. Here is the title of the western, and it's going to be directed by Park Chan-wook, who also is responsible for the Vengeance trilogy. You know, Old Boy, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. So that is definitely something to look forward to. You know, S. Greg Zeller and Park Chan-wook teaming up. That is like a film buff's dream, wet dream, right? Picked up Creed 2 on 4K Blue. Not as good as the first one, but still an excellent sequel. It's more emotional, more dramatic. You know, I had sympathies for both sides. You know, I was rooting for Team Creed, but I was also rooting for Team Drago. You know, you completely understand why they want to fight each other. You know, you understand the reasons and their motivations. And you know, one of my favorite scenes is at the end of the movie, and this is going to be a little spoiler. It's the one where Rocky finally meets his son after a long time. And it's a very emotional scene, and Stallone lost his own son, Sage, some years ago, who also played his son in Rocky V. And I like to think that Stallone was thinking of him while he was shooting that scene. Next is Dog Day Afternoon. Now, what can I say about this amazing piece of cinema that hasn't been said already? It's a masterpiece, plain and simple. You know, if you haven't seen this movie, shame on you. But yeah, this also comes with a bonus DVD, a documentary about John Cazale. This one, a great actor. I Knew It Was You, rediscovering John Cazale. I was hoping that it would be, you know, like a feature-length documentary, but it's only 40 minutes long, which is just too short. I think Cazale deserves much better than that. But it also comes with two short films, The American Way, which Cazale had a short appearance in, and The Box. You know, Cazale was the camera operator of that. You know, he wasn't only an actor, he also did things behind the scenes. Next is Cujo. That is a fine release from Eureka. I mean, Eureka, they're doing really well with their releases. Here's a look at the booklet. Of course, based on Stephen King. Oh, here it is. Jan de Bond. Oh, I forgot that he was the cinematographer of this movie. You know, you see a Dutch cinematographer. He later became director. You know, he directed Speed and Twister, two of his best films, and later he made, well, not so good films. You know, Speed 2 and The Haunting and Tomb Raider 2 with Angelina Jolie, and after that he didn't direct the movie anymore. But anyway, yeah, fine release from Eureka, and this is also a fine release from 101. Howard the Duck. Hey, I love this movie. I really do. I grew up with it, saw it many times when I was a kid, and I've always had a soft spot for this movie. The 2-discer. Very nice extras on it, and of course you got the booklet here. Leah Thompson. I used to have a big crush on her when I was growing up. Tim Robbins, you know, before he did Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, very nice. And last but not least, I also got this wonderful set from Everything Blue. This is the 2005 Peter Jackson version of King Kong. And it also comes with this mini poster, which looks very nice. But this is an amazing set. I mean, look at the, embossed, debossed. Oh, I don't know what you call it, but it looks very nice. And it's all the way around, see? On top. Also on the bottom, you can see my number up, down there, 128 out of 600. Look at that. That is a very nice release. Let me show you what the inside has. Of course, it comes with the steelbook. That's a bonus disc, the regular Blu-ray and the 4K Blu-ray. And some stuff in here as well. A nice picture there. Yeah, a lot of things. This is the map, and you got these tickets. Yeah, very nice, very nice. And then you have, what is this? This is the art cards, and you can see King Kong, and picture cards. Not only art cards, but also picture cards. Yep, that's it, I believe. Yep. And you have these artwork that they made for the movie. Nothing on the back, only the title. Very nice. And this, well, you can actually put it like that. Just a little mini poster. And of course you got the booklet. Well, no, I don't think this is a booklet. More like a picture book, a little picture book. Next year you're gonna have King Kong versus Godzilla. Now I'm actually quite curious about that movie. But yeah, it also comes with this little card. Now this is the second release that Everything Blue has put out of this set. Now the first one was Schindler's List, which I also have, and I believe the next one in this line will be Pitch Black, but I'm not going to get that one. I just want to get the ones that I really want to have, and King Kong and Schindler's List is definitely titles that I want to get. Or I actually already have them. But here's the J card of the steelbook, by the way. But yeah, that is it for my May update. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.